Welcome everyone to episode 2 of Not Your Average Chalupa.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoop whoop.
Welcome back, everybody. Anyone who's watching, you can see our little gatito Oppo is in the frame and he's on some crackhead energy right now.
Our executive producer is on something.
But honestly, that's how I'm feeling right now. You know why?
Why?
Because, oh my god, I'm so excited. I got tickets for Avril Lavigne.
That's right.
Woo,
That's right. That's
Cue
right.
the applause. I got tickets for Avril Lavigne, and I'm not big on concerts. I've been to a couple last year. I did go to a couple, but Avril Lavigne goes back to childhood.
Yeah, that was like, middle school to high school, the nostalgia behind it.
I used to feel like a little badass when I heard her music. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and who are they performing with again?
They're performing with Simple Plan and 3 other smaller artists.
Like, I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare.
Do you ever feel like breaking
wrong
down?
song, sorry.
No, but that's it.
That's them too?
That's them too.
Oh shit, nice.
Good job.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like breaking down?
That's right.
Do you ever, like
That's-
somehow you just don't
Vocals,
belong?
oh my gosh.
Anyway, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like,
Cloud9.
yes, I'm so excited because Avril Lavigne is like an OG, you know?
And I feel like it's not going to be one of those concerts where it's over hyped or used for social media
It's
clout.
just overset. You know how, like, first of all, I've been to see Bad Bunny and Harry Styles and The Weeknd. All of them, it's just girls like, ooh, boobies, outfits, you know?
If it was more so of a photo op and a
Yes.
social media flex than it was enjoying the actual concert.
So I feel like with this concert, it's going to be exciting because it's genuine. It's the OGs.
It's going to be a bunch of millennials. We're going to be the crowd is like 20 to 35.
Like,
you know?
yes. Like, yes, I want to look good. We're going to look good. But
Yeah.
it's going to be less of that, like that peppy energy, you know?
Yeah. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a good vibe.
I'm excited. And this is David's first concert.
Yeah. First ever concert. Never been to one before.
So
Definitely exciting.
I'm excited. Just a little
To catch up on us, what we've been doing since we last recorded.
It's your papachito. It's your palito, sorry. Oppo's right here. David, you want to share about your Instagram journey?
Yeah, so I started
YouTube.
posting on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and I'm going on, the whole Favorite David thing where I was talking about the new username from last episode. Yeah, I'm making videos, and I already posted one YouTube video. I'm working on another one now. It's just it's very exciting, making shorts and everything, trying to work on my thumbnail game, becoming that content creator that I aspire to be.
Do we want to share the origin of Favorite David?
So Favorite David's origin. Favorite starts with an F, and David starts with a D, so Favorite, right? You combine it. Favorite was the word that came before David, so Favorite David, or Fridays with David. It's a bunch of roots.
It was Fridays with David. So, back when David was when we were both in college, every Friday you had class and I didn't. It was the one day where I was off from class.
Yeah.
And I used to go pick him up from his classes. Back then we were just friends. I'm doing all this gay shit, you know?
Yeah, casual.
I used to go pick him up every Friday, and then we would go out to eat. We'd do ramen, we'd do pizza.
There was this one spot that served big CD pizza. Oh my goodness, the slices were huge. It was like bigger than your face. It was so good.
I used to call it Big Titty Pizza because sometimes I don't hear things, and I hear the most out of pocket shit, bro.
Yeah. I was like, you want big CD pizza? She was like, Big Titty Pizza.
Hell yeah!
And since then, it's been called Big Titty Pizza.
Yeah, so Fridays with David was something I look forward to, so I started calling them Favids. Me and Yermo kind of came up with the name. Shout out to Yermo, he's one of our closest friends.
OG.
And we just came up with Favorite David, and Favorite was Fridays with David.
Whoop, whoop.
My favorite time of the week.
That's right. We looked forward to it, and Favorite David it sounds nice when you say them together, Favorite David, and I just took that for my username.
Yeah, so he kind of inspired me to go back into my social media thing. I'm very active on my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
However, I have this crochet / fiber artist Instagram. Like, as I told you guys, like I love to crochet, embroider, do things with yarn and needles.
What was the origin of that page?
The origin of Divine Pros was actually my Etsy shop.
Nice.
So that was the first time I launched something and people bought it. It was great.
It did really well. I feel like it took off the ground pretty nice. There was just a lot of time.
The only reason I stopped working on it was because I couldn't keep up with the orders.
Yeah.
And that's a good problem to have.
Yes, 100%.
You know, but I kind of stopped Divine Pearls, like me as an artist, and we'll get into this. And I know that other people can relate. Sometimes you feel pressure to do art and therefore
It takes away the creative drive.
yes. So I kind of stopped Divine Pros, but now Divine Pros is gonna be kind of like my personal portfolio. Like
Yeah.
I just want to share. If I'm crocheting, if I made some bomb ass sweater, I'm gonna fucking show you.
That's right.
You know. So it's just gonna be like my little personal artist page. You know, I have
Your
my.
earrings are really nice, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I made them.
Yeah, that's right. Oh wow, so cool. Oh
You
my
know?
goodness.
Only for those who get to watch. So
You
go
can
on
check
our
it out on
YouTube.
Divine Pearls. You know, just
I make custom orders sometimes if I'm in the mood for it. Like,
Yeah.
So, I just want to have a place where I can have specified for my art.
exactly. I like
So
that. Mm-hmm.
that's Divine Pearls. So I'm excited for that. You kind of inspired me to get on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And yeah, like I have a decent amount of following over there on Divine Pearls, and I worked hard to get that following. So
Might as well utilize and capitalize on it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to talk about Opal? We have some major milestones with Opal.
Oh, so Opalini's you are potty training him. We're gonna have a cat that uses the actual toilet, and he's doing pretty good. Like we had gotten him a traditional litter box, and immediately like a week later bought him the toilet training litter box, where it's like just a bunch of loops that hook together and sit on top of the toilet, and every now and then, every 2 weeks, you're supposed to take away a loop.
But we've been doing every 1 week.
You've been doing every week, and he's adjusting very fast, and it's gotten to the point now where he's actually had poop fall in the toilet. And I
He
don't
goes
know.
pee pee in the toilet. Listen,
Yeah.
this is a milestone for us as cat parents.
Yeah.
Less litter for us.
100%. We're saving money, and it's just cool, a casual flex to have your cat poop in the toilet.
Yeah, like my cat can poop in the toilet. Can yours?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
think
That's
so.
right. Opal the best.
So.
But it is a little frustrating when you go to use a bathroom and he runs to the toilet.
Oh my God.
He's very territorial, which is understandable.
There's been moments where I've had to poop and Opal's pooping.
Yeah, he likes to. He doesn't like when I pee. Like he'll run up to the toilet and try to like stop me from going in the bathroom. But then I'm like, bro, we're sharing this household.
I kind of just I don't let him come into the bathroom with me.
You stop them.
Yeah, I don't let
Yeah.
him come into the bathroom with me. But yeah, no, I'm excited about that. I feel like
Mhm.
3 more weeks and we'll have a cat that uses the toilet.
That's
and
pretty exciting.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Another big thing. I'd say for about close to a year now, we've been over a collective amount of time, about a year's worth of time,
Flexitarian.
flexitarians. We're like vegetarian to vegan. We did like 5 months vegans, like maybe 6-7 months vegetarian, but right now we're back on our vegan shit. And one of the priorities I like to focus on is alkaline food. If you know Dr. Sebi, he's a nutritionist and he's a healer that focuses on alkaline food, which is non-acidic food, and that pretty much reduces inflammation in the body, all this good stuff, a bunch of good benefits. Look up Dr. Sebi. But he gives a list of ingredients that are alkaline, and we made our first official meal fully alkaline, fully vegan.
Not even we. David did all the cooking.
But it came out good, and I liked it.
Yeah. Props to you though.
That shit was bossy.
Because, I, as a Latina,
Yeah.
I love rice.
Yeah, it's hard to have.
I love rice, and I'm sure a bunch of you can relate to that. Rice goes with everything, and giving up rice was a little hard. Well, I still fully haven't given it up.
Yeah, every now and then, flexitarian.
You know, that's a flexitarian. So when he told me about the black rice, I was like, oh, I don't know, but it was really good.
Yeah, it has like the good texture of rice, just more of a small hint of sunflower, like undertones. But it's really good. And if you season it the same way, it comes out bomb. But yeah, that was like I felt very proud of that because I've been thinking about going alkaline for a very long time, and I'm gonna work my way there slowly.
I'm sure you'll definitely hear a bunch of stories about our cooking. I personally love to cook. I just made some vegan sugar-free cookies like an hour ago.
And they're bomb.
So good. I use almond butter, coconut oil,
Dark chocolate
agave,
chips.
dark chocolate. This is all just clean ingredients. We try to do our best to
Eat clean.
and be mindful of what goes into our body. But that's for another time.
Yeah. Speaking of black rice though.
Spooky.
Spooky. We're so used to white rice, regular rice, but we got black rice. We got that dark stuff. Do you want to tap into more dark things? Inclusion, yeah. Representation matters.
Getting a little into the dark zone. We had a little poll. We engaged with you guys and wanted to see if anybody wants to share some paranormal tales.
Some spooky stories.
David and I have our fair share of
paranormal activities and spooky stories.
So first of all, I think that you can take it with a grain of salt. You can choose to believe us. You can choose not to believe us.
But what matters is that's our experience, and we're sharing that with you.
If you like anybody that shares to me, if I can't prove you wrong, I'll believe you.
I'll believe you. Yeah.
you know.
Who am I to doubt you?
Exactly,
Yeah.
I learned that from you.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
We asked a couple of friends, we asked around, and there's some stories we wanted to share.
Yeah.
It starts off with the main one that spoke out to me. This person, she's very in tune with herself, and she's very in tune with energy, and I definitely believe she has a strong third eye. But this girl, she lives in an area where it's more nature. It's not city like us. And she had been to Seven Lakes Drive with a friend.
Do you know her Instagram? You want to shout out her Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, after the story.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, kind of. So this girl had gone on Seven Lakes Drive with her friend. Seven Fingers, Siete Lagos, no? I'm so used to saying it in Spanish.
It's okay.
Los Siete Lagos. Okay, so Seven Lakes Drive with her friend. And there was a waterfall. And as we know, I also believe that there's energy in everything. And she's very in tune with that. And she felt the energy of the water. And she was like, it was cute, a little moment. You know, she went on a drive with her friend. They're having a little waterfall, taking pictures. The windows are down. They're having a vibe. And all of a sudden, my friend hears a voice saying, "Get out."
Yeah, that's pretty trippy, especially if you're just going on a regular car ride.
You're in fucking nature, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and you're every single movie scene, like horror movies always go that way, especially when you're driving by water or a bridge and you hear a voice like that. No,
somebody tells you get out.
You look in your fucking your rear view mirror, and then all of a sudden you see somebody in the back of the car. It's just
so
immediately panics, you know.
So mind you, it was just my friend and her friend, so just the two of them. And all of a sudden, she says she heard that voice and she freaks out. And she trusts her intuition, which I respect. And she goes, "Put the windows up. We have to leave now."
Yeah.
And her friend is all like, la, 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 you know, taking having a good moment, because it was genuinely a beautiful moment. And she said that she turned around and she felt like there was somebody at the back of the car. She felt somebody in the back seat. It was just the two of them.
100%.
So she's just like, oh my god. And so eventually they leave, and she feels like it was just some dark energy and just bad vibes, right? Yucky. So time passes by, 3 months pass by, and her friend goes back to the waterfall for the vibes. You know, as if you shouldn't learn from the first time. And that friend went with another friend.
A completely different person.
At this point, my friend's out the picture, you know, time passes by. And she calls up my friend and she goes, "It happened again."
Yeah.
I heard a voice telling me to get out. And that friend, she felt like somebody else was in the back seat.
So that's the same ghost repeating the same activity.
Twice.
On that main friend, the person who was driving the car.
Yes. Telling them to get out.
Yeah. I would have took them the first hint, honestly.
If that's not a sign, then what is, you know?
Yeah, and they doubled down 2 different people, you know? That's just too much.
So that was kind of spooky, because especially anything with nature, like we have some pretty deep nature stories.
Yeah.
You want to share about our trip to Baños?
For sure. So Baños en Bato is in Ecuador. It's a nice, what would you say, city or a town?
Yeah.
It's a nice town in Ecuador where they have a lot of beautiful waterfalls, scenery, nature, and this one waterfall in particular was called...
The name itself is spooky. It's called, in Spanish, El Pailón del Diablo, which means the devil's pot.
Yeah.
Because un pailón is a big mixing pot, you know, like
a cauldron, kind of like a witchy cauldron vibes.
That's the name. I don't know my Spanish sometimes. Okay. Anyway, the fact that it's called the Devil's Cauldron.
Yeah. That alone is already standing out to itself.
You know?
And when you actually go up to the waterfall, you have to crawl through caves and very tight spaces and nooks and crannies. You get wet along the way.
Yeah, it is not like la la la. Like you have to.
It's not a casual stroll. It's a.
David and I were pretty out of breath when we were just getting there before we even got to the cave. We were like.
I was on all fours crawling through caves trying to get through the spacings.
I was twerking it up on my way.
Yeah,
there.
She was shaking some cheeks.
Anyway,
when you finally get to the top, it looks like a giant pit. And in that pit is where the waterfall dives into. And it's so beautiful. Like, it was spiritually cleansing and uplifting experience. Just seeing it. There was a rainbow inside the pit.
It was gorgeous. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I'm an emotional person, but bro, I've never cried upon the sight of something so beautiful. Yeah. And including you, baby.
Oof, thank you. That was smooth. I like that.
Left me out of breath. I just remember turning around and then seeing it, and I immediately just started crying because the fact that nature is just so beautiful.
Yeah, it was very stunning.
That was the best part of it, but boy, what happened before we got there.
Yeah. So on the walk up, we had ran across one of these vendors, and the street vendor was selling Salcedo ice creams. That's what they're called.
Yeah, so Salcedo ice cream, if you're an OG Ecuadorian, you know that Salcedo ice cream is one of the best ice creams in Ecuador. But there's a lot of dupes.
Yeah, a lot of fakes.
Yeah, so the original only cost 50 to 75 cents.
And these dupes, they're charging upwards of $1.75.
They're charging up to $3 in some
Yeah.
places.
And that's insane, and especially considering Ecuador pricing, they're just trying to, capitalize off the name and give you fake ice cream. But yeah, so we're walking up this path, and the vendor, he didn't have the authentic Salcedo ice cream, so we decided not to buy from him.
No, so sorry, baby. He had the whole authentic sign and everything,
Yeah.
and he caught our attention. And the whole trip, I was talking about Salcedo, let's get the ice cream. And we go there, and he opens,
The door.
the refrigerator or whatever.
The ice cream fridge.
And I see that, yeah, you're like you said, we see that it wasn't it. And as I'm taking my hand out, my hand is not even fully out, and this man
Yeah.
fully
He slams
just slams the door.
and almost like slams your hand in the door. Mind you, we're looking at this man like, why are you so pressed? He's mad that we didn't buy the ice cream.
And he was like he wasn't that tall. He was probably like 5'2".
Yeah, he was a short man.
An older man, very grumpy looking, and he was just like, you didn't buy my ice cream, rawr.
Yeah. And as we're walking away, he's giving Ana in particular this mean mug. He's like grilling her the whole time we're walking away.
And like I want to say, like, I'm very spiritual in tune, and I could sense energies, and people can sense my energy, and unfortunately sometimes there's envy.
Yeah.
And I think that was the case with this man. Not envy of my energy, but he just had some bad beef with me, and he kind of knew where I'm at.
Yeah.
And we're walking,
we're walking up the path, and we already passed the vendors. We're walking up the path to go to the waterfall along the side of the mountain, and for some reason there's this little wooden like awning that's hanging off the side of the cliff, and there was a man sitting inside the awning. He was an old man. He was smiley. He looked very cute.
The most beautiful sight, like
yeah.
like the cute little
wooden
flowers.
It looked like a gazebo, but just hanging off of a cliff. It was so pretty. And there was this man sitting inside there with a sign that said, please leave $1.11, and only $1.11. And he had change there. He had money there sitting. People were leaving him $1.11. So we walk up, we see that, we greet him, whatever. And as we're looking over the cliff edge, we turn back to leave. We're like, no, we're not gonna give this man. We don't have exactly $1.11. So we turn back to leave, and he reaches out for one of our hands. And at this case, he was honestly reaching out just for Ana, because when I reached out, he barely even touched my hand. He did the most gentle like grasp and shake and let go, right?
Pussy ass grab.
He like crazy, and then he goes to reach for Ana's hand.
And oh my god, this man reaches from, and I kind of like I lean in a little more personal, because first of all, he's my people. He's Ecuadorian. He looks like an old man, and he just looked like a cute little. Oh my goodness, so cute, And he goes, extends out his hand, and I had a glove, like those grip gloves, just in case. And in the grip glove, there's one hole, like a big opening at the top of my hand. On the video you can see it, but on the podcast, just imagine. And the top of my hand is opened, and he pulls me in, and he grabs my hand like firmly with both of his hands.
Yeah.
And he sees the opening at the top of my hand, and he begins to do some.
He starts to scribble with his nails on her hand.
And he scribbles like some jibbity something, and he said something under his breath. It wasn't Spanish.
Yeah.
It might have been Quechua, which is our native language, or it might have been God knows what.
Yeah.
But dude, when he whipped out those hands, those goblin-looking nails.
He had those like typical stereotype witch nails, like the very thick yellow, like crusty long nails. And he's over here scraping symbols onto the back of Anai's hand. And I'm looking at this happen. I'm like, oh, fuck no. Like, because I also believe in energies and spirits.
And I didn't want to be rude. I'm not going to yank my hand. And I was, in the moment, I was like, oh, such a sweet man. He's telling me, God bless you, And I was like, okay. And then David was seeing it from this perspective, because honestly, I was not seeing that up until you brought it up. And then David immediately, like, we step out, you know, and this is before we get to the waterfall.
Yes, this is all before we get to the waterfall.
So David steps out, he cleans my hand, he's like, oh my goodness, like clean it, you know, there's some negative energy. And looking back at it, I start to see this man, like in the back of my head, I'm remembering the scenario and how things were. He had like little tiny bottles of like, he had
Yeah.
like little potions.
Little jars that he was like, oh, you can pick one up if you give the $1.
He had
11 cents.
essential oils, like
Mhm.
little, like these things to make a spell or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
he had a bunch of,
It felt very
mystical,
Exactly.
you
That's a
know?
good word for it.
So he does that to me, and David is like, oh no, he immediately wipes off my hand.
Yeah, I'm like over here, you know, doing my own form of cleansing, and I'm wiping off her hand and telling her like no, that was not okay. What he
Yeah.
did was not good.
And so, you know, we keep going. We're like, okay, forget that. That doesn't ruin our trip. We get to El Pailón del Diablo, the actual waterfall. And as we're going through the cave, I'm like so excited, you know, recording videos. And I was ahead of you. I was in front
Yeah.
of you. Oh my God. When we got to the final part of the cave and we got to the water, I felt a whole body shake, like a zing.
Imagine a gong, right? The vibrations of a gong through her entire body.
Yeah. So I immediately put my head up and I see the water, and David is behind me, and I immediately felt like something just went shh, like it just
Completely coated her.
completely coated me, and it shook me, and I felt like, oh, like something's, you know, something is over me.
The biggest chill running down your spine.
But it was like
Yeah.
the biggest rush of endorphins. I felt so
Yeah.
good. I was like, oh yeah, fuck, you know.
Mhm.
And I felt good, and it has, in my mind, it had nothing to do with this man, and we're good, and I'm feeling it, you know. We're having a good time, we're taking pictures, we're engaging with other tourists.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
We end up heading back down after all of this. We take our pictures. It was beautiful. And when we returned to that spot that we initially passed, there was no one there. And not only was there no one there, it was completely full of dust and leaves and
The
dirty.
man was gone, and so was his little setup.
Like his presence didn't even exist. Because when we were there, it was so clean and beautiful and pristine. And when we returned to it, it was as if no one touched it for months. It just wasn't the same.
It was scary.
Yeah. And then, so that was that, right? We go there first, see the man, we come back, he's not there. We're heading back down the mountain, and the motherfucker that was selling us the ice cream was over here cackling and smirking at Anae. Like he had sent that man to do some hex or some voodoo or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So David and I are convinced that the ice cream man is who sent the little goblin over there.
He was salty we didn't buy his $3 ice cream, and he tried to put a hex on us.
Yeah. So that was it. I don't know.
That was that story.
It was scary because of the sense of, I don't know, the witch nails and the,
Yeah, it just felt very like out of a movie, you know?
like our whole trip to Ecuador felt very mystical.
Yeah,
At least the ones with nature.
100%.
Like I'm from Cuenca, the city where everyone knows, but if we're talking deep dip into like yeah, I'm from the Bronx,
Yeah.
but
I mean, you state
I'm not
your
gonna
borough,
tell you
you
where
know?
we're from, you know. Like literally my area where I'm from in Ecuador is Tuncay. It's a small town. And to me, I've been back there before, but this is David's first time. And David described his first time as something completely different.
You drove into the town and the air smelled different. It just felt very mystical. I don't know. It was like you're stepping into a portal, just entering into the town, because there was two big stones you had to drive through, and then you turned the corner. It was all foggy and misty. You couldn't see anything, and all of a sudden you're in this beautiful little campo, like country life town. It was very, very like surreal.
He said that even the flowers felt different, the
Mhm.
way that they were draping over the entrance.
Yes.
And what's ironic enough, the entrance into my little town is through a cemetery.
Yeah.
You have to pass the cemetery in order to go
Into the town.
into my town. So that was pretty cool. I've just some spooky shit, but I definitely think that in Ecuador there's magic. No magic. I don't know.
Mysticism, energy. You know, it's more the spirit world and the physical world.
It's
are
more raw.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely more raw.
There's less filters.
Like for example, my friend with the waterfall, she also felt in tune with nature, and she felt in tune with the water.
Yes.
And nature and all those things like line up. I have a similar story.
Mm-hmm.
This one kind of like chokes me up a bit. There was this ghost, a not so friendly man, and that man scared me. I was afraid to walk in the dark for months.
Yeah.
So when
How did you first interact with this ghost?
I didn't. He interacted with me. It was, listen, back then we weren't even dating.
No.
Okay. So David and I were already kind of like, like testing the waters, and back then I wasn't living here. David was living with his roommates.
Yes.
2 roommates, right? And they can attest to this. And we're chilling. The guys are in their room. Everybody's about to meet in the living room. We're gonna hang out. But I'm in the living room. I'm getting off of the couch and I'm going to the kitchen to get some water.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I feel somebody just like grab my butt, but like he grabbed it like like he grabbed both cheeks and he went like I felt like a good grip,
Like a hefty grab,
and I turned around and in the back of my head I'm like, David, the boys are here, relax. David wasn't there.
Yeah, I was in my room.
David was in his room. The boys were all doing their thing. We were all gonna meet, and there was nobody near me, but I swear somebody grabbed my ass. And I immediately go, David!
Yeah.
And I scream and I'm telling him and I'm panicking and the boys come out and we're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, nobody, did any of you just, they were not even near me, but just making sure. And I was like confused because...
Who would do that, what grabbed your cheeks,
And so...
Your buns.
My buns were grabbed by a ghost. And we go into this and we're like, okay, like, we kind of like play it off.
Yeah, we like let it just pass on. That was a moment. It moved on.
And it happened again. I was in David's room. David had gone to work and I was just laying in his room. I was already chilling. And I was laying down and again I felt like a grace on my cheek, just like a slight grace. And I'm like, okay, like I got scared and I went back to my apartment as soon as that happened. And okay, so we have this, the ghost is kind of like, and so David is kind of like starting to feel the presence at this point. And I remember that I was just afraid to be alone in here, so I wasn't, And then Alexis.
Yeah, he was one of our roommates. His bedroom was right across from the bathroom, and the bathroom I feel like was that ghost's favorite spot. So Alexis would wake up and go to the bathroom, and he just would see this figure, this outline of a figure walking throughout the house, and he's like, I'm not fucking crazy, I'm not bugging. And it wasn't only just Alexis. Jeffrey would see it occasionally. Anaya would see it. I was the only one that didn't see it. Which, I don't know, maybe he was fucking with me. That's my homie or something. But he would never show himself to me, but he would show himself to everyone else in the house.
The craziest thing was when we were all... It was in the summertime. Again, it was a weekend, so I used to come over. And you're in your room.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about to go sit outside. We had some drinks. We were chilling. We were listening to music, and then we're all chilling in here in the kitchen. The boys are helping me make dinner, and David. We didn't know that David was in his room. We knew David was in the apartment, but we didn't know where.
I just like disappeared. I'm very quiet on my feet, so.
So we're chilling, and then all of a sudden we just see David sitting out on the porch,
and they paid no mind to it. They thought it was me out on the porch.
So. We're like, okay, the boys are here. David's in the porch. We're doing our thing. We're cooking. And meanwhile, David was on the porch for a good while. We're cooking, and we know there's a presence of somebody in the porch. And then dinner's ready, and I'm like, David, and I'm like, why is he not moving? And you weren't moving. And Alexis, he's like, all right, let me go grab him. And I'm confused, right? Like, why are you not answering? And Alexis is not the type of guy to flinch or get scared or none of that.
He's very like tough bravado type of guy.
Mucho macho, And I've never seen Alexis flinch so hard. Alexis stepped out into the porch, and he immediately goes.
Yeah, he jumps back and turns his ass back around and closes the door.
And he goes, "That motherfucker is not David."
Yeah.
He goes, "Where is David?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I thought he was kidding. And I go out, and lo and behold, it's like this. Oh my God! Even looking back at it, it gives you like the chills. And it's just this man, like a silhouette, like a dark image of a man sitting like this, just sitting.
Yeah, hands crossed on his lap.
Oh my God! And Jeffrey's like, no way, let me see. And so at this point, we're all making noise, and so you begin to come out from your room, and you come into the kitchen, and we're like, oh my God! Yeah. We like freak out because weren't you just there? Like, what's going on? And David comes out and he was like, let me see. David steps out into the porch.
Nothing.
No, man.
Yeah. So, and it's not the first time we've had this ghost in our house. Like when my family, we all used to live here. It would mess with my sister, it would mess with my mother, but it would never enter my room, do anything with my room. I feel like I'm protected in terms of spirits in that way. But I would always talk to the energies in the house and the spirits, and I'll be like, listen, you keep fucking around and touching people and making them feel uncomfortable. You can't show in the house. You have to. That's it. You're outside. And then after I made that declaration was when it started hanging out on the porch.
Oh yeah, we had to be
very stern.
So no, we had to literally, you know how they said redefine terms or whatever.
Yeah.
Like redefine.
It's like making your contract, like, you know.
So here's the thing, like, because after that ghost groped me 2 times, David and I, we bought holy water.
Yeah, we cleansed the whole house.
Cleansed the whole house, even cleansed the boys. That even though I didn't live here, but I was here often enough to where that ghost knew when I would be here.
Yeah.
And it was very disturbing. Like, I was getting sexually harassed by a ghost.
That's, yeah, the homie was copping the feel, fucking perfect.
You know, so we did that, and David said your presence is not welcomed in this apartment.
I was like, as long as you have malintention and harming people, you're not welcome here.
Well, you know what the ghost said? The ghost said, okay, I can chill outside, though.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about me chilling outside.
Yeah, I should have been more specific.
You know, so lo and behold, the ghost started chilling outside. So, again, we had to do, like, this whole little cleanse, a little cleanse, and we hadn't seen the ghost since. But I want to say for 2 to 3 months, I was afraid to chill here with the lights off.
Yeah, 100%.
That ghost was, I don't know. It was because I've had other encounters with paranormal tales, you know, like other things like that.
But this one in particular was very physical.
It was very malicious. It's the first time I have
that type of experience.
Negative intention with something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so not props, but the ghost tried.
It was an experience, you know, and we got rid of him.
Yeah. It was pretty scary, but I felt like I said, I've had past experiences. Like, for example, I'm very much in tune with my grandfather. I never met my grandpa my grandpa died before I was born.
Yeah.
But my father speaks about him a lot, to the point where I know of him and I know about him. I know what he's like. I know that he has a big forehead like me.
Yeah. We got the chroma dome.
You know, I know that we're alike in many ways. My dad always tells me I'm like my grandfather a lot. And ever since I was a kid, I just thought it was normal to hear voices. You know, I would always hear my name, like, Anai, Anai.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very spooky.
And I never thought of it as spooky. I thought it was just like, Anai.
Yeah.
You know, like nurturing. And I never thought as anything up until I started sharing my stories with you and the guys. So this goes back to me being like 9 years old, 8 years old, chilling in my apartment and just seeing the big shadow of my grandpa. And I knew it was my grandfather, 100%.
Yeah.
And
you could tell.
He would just say my name, and I just felt like somebody was taking care of me, because sometimes I would have to stay home alone. And he would take care of me.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like I was in a good space. And then we go back to, I want to say when I was like 15, 16. I was just really going through it in my personal life and just not feeling the best. And I remember I was sitting on the edge of my bed on one side, you know, and then the rest of the bed is empty. And I began to cry, and I'm just like really going through it. And I'm like, give me a sign. I want to know I'm not alone. Like, me just thinking like, it's not going to happen. I kid you not. The other side of my bed just danced.
Yeah.
As if somebody just sat there with me. Took a seat, and he just sat there with me. And I was happy.
Mm-hmm. It was confirmation for what you were asking for.
It was confirmation that somebody was there with me and I was not alone.
Yeah.
Anybody else would have been like, oh my goodness, I was happy.
Yeah.
My grandfather made his presence and I was happy. So I've had that. I've had moments where my grandfather sometimes plays the guitar for me.
Yeah, he'll strum the guitar randomly.
Like, he doesn't full on play me the whole song. But if I'm going through it, we have a lot of guitars in the house. And even on my personal apartment when I lived alone, I also had a guitar in my house. And if I was ever going down, like feeling down and just sad, the guitar would strum.
It was very sweet.
It was a confirmation of my grandfather being there. And it was just, I miss that, you know. But when I started speaking about it is when he stopped showing up.
Yeah. I wonder why the correlation of that happens. You know, when you start to speak about those things that you experience, it no longer, you know, comes around.
I feel like they don't want much attention. Like he just wants to
Maybe.
rest. But it's definitely like, have I felt somebody's presence? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Was I scared by it? No. My grandpa at least, because this
Mhm.
ghost is something else.
Mhm.
You know.
I had a similar experience in terms of like a weird ghost. So for me, in terms of paranormal, or like more so spirits and ghosts, it wasn't very prominent. Like growing up as a kid, I would play with my shadow and like talk to my shadow. I was a weird kid, to say the least. And as I got older, I saw less and less of traditional like ghosts, but more so just like things flying by the room, dark, shadows, little figures moving around. Uh, Fast forward to more so present day, I'd say 2021. I was working at this place called Action Letter in Connecticut, and it was notoriously known by all the staff in Action Letter that there was a ghost upstairs. And I was usually the first person to be upstairs and the last person to be out. I worked from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 5 to 6 days a week. We were hustling, and I would walk in, say good morning every day. I'd be like, hi, good morning, like welcome ghost, whatever. And at night I would say good night, turn the lights off, and we always made it as a joke. The longer I've been there, I worked there for about 5 months the first time, another time 5 months. But the longer I was there, the more the ghost made itself present to me. And all of a sudden you'd be upstairs and you just hear a, hey. You hear like a, hi. And it's like, it was a woman's voice.
Oh my god.
So very, very creepy. And this is a big place full of like a bunch of shelves and dark corners. It's very dingy. So just imagine, you hear, all of a sudden you think you're alone upstairs. Hey. Like it was so strange. The reason I bring it up is because there was one day that the main boss of the building, Ellen, she doesn't believe that there's a ghost upstairs. But me and Gio's like a father figure for me. He's a great man. He's on the same page as me. He's always like, yes, there's a fucking ghost upstairs. Me and Gio and Ellen were talking about shipping wine glasses. And we were using this new packaging type and trying to see what would work. We simulated or emulated the action of lifting a glass from this package. And when we did that, you heard a glass tink, like a ding. And only me and Gio heard it. Ellen didn't hear the sound. We heard like a glass chime, like a ding. And it was a ringing. And I looked at Gio and he was like, you heard that, right? Did you
just hear that?
Yeah, and I was like, yes. We asked Ellen, she didn't hear a thing.
Oh my god.
And it's, I guess, me, Gio. I don't know if it's a thing where it kind of shows itself to men, or in whatever case it may be. But Ellen would never hear it. Just me and Gio.
There's different types of energies for everybody.
Yeah.
Like the ghost that was groping me was never into you.
Yeah, it never surrounded me.
It was a woman that was into men, and she wasn't going towards women.
Yeah. So that was that experience, and just overall, I had a lot of those types of experiences at Action Letter. There was one day, I was probably 4 months in, and just like I was a little burnt out. I'm not gonna lie, because I was working 6 days a week. Imagine 50 to 60 hours a week, and on top of that, at the time I was streaming. Oh my goodness, I was probably putting in 90-hour work weeks with combination of work and streaming.
He used to hustle.
I was going hard, and there was one day at work where it was the morning time. I had just brought the forklift inside, and I was gonna walk upstairs. I closed the garage. And for some reason, my brain, maybe from exhaustion or whatever, I just genuinely thought, if I open this door right now, the door to head upstairs, I'm not going to be in the same, it's not going to be the same. Like the world that I'm going to enter in is going to be different. Like as if me opening that door is going to enter into an alternate timeline. And I opened the door, the first door, and I'm walking upstairs and I'm like panicking, like feeling this frantic, like
it's like this uneasy feeling inside of you.
And I opened the second door and it's normal. And I don't know what it was that made me think that entering through this door was going to change the world that I was in.
And it's not like anyone's planting these things in your head. It's just genuinely how you felt.
It was what I experienced, and I'm sharing with you.
That's crazy. No, like, everybody has different, like, whether it's feeling the presence of somebody or, like, seeing a ghost or genuinely being touched or seeing something or maybe asking for a sign or something like that, I had a friend who just told me, sorry, I'm trying to see her page. Well, let me tell you what I remember. This friend, she's sitting at the park with her girlfriend, and she's kind of questioning the situation, like, is this meant to be? Is it not? And she says, give me a sign. If this is meant to be with her, give me a sign.
Let me know.
And 6, like you're in the tree, you're in the park, there's a bunch of trees, and 6 nuts,
6 acorns,
nuts, 6 acorns fall literally right in between them, like
Yeah.
dividing them.
If you needed a sign that
That's
clear,
your fucking sign.
that's your sign.
Like just in between them, and
A black squirrel.
a black squirrel. First of all, black, you know, like that alone is like a red flag. You're asking for a sign. You get something that divides you, and a big black squirrel comes, and she takes the acorn and shoots it at her girlfriend.
Yeah, she threw the acorn at the girlfriend. That's she's telling
that
her to
not
fuck
a
off.
sign?
You know.
You know. And I've had a lot of stories being told of me by like people hearing pots banging, and
Yeah.
you go to your kitchen and there's nothing.
Yeah. So I definitely feel like there's more to this world than just the physical.
Definitely. I
And
mean,
people are tapped in, which is why you get these experiences.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like it really is up to you if you're open to the idea of hearing about it. Because to someone, you may be listening to this episode and be like, what is this?
Yeah, some hippity
Like, I don't
bullshit.
believe
Yeah.
But if you do believe us, great. You know, like share your stories. I wholeheartedly believe that there is something out there.
Yeah.
you
Feel
know?
free to leave a comment on the YouTube video, or if you want to leave a review on the Spotify in regards to the episode, and we'll look through this stuff and
So
see your stories.
quick shout out to Jenny, my friend from college. She's a waterfall girl.
Yeah.
Jenny Goes to Space is her username.
Nice.
Instagram.
Good shout out.
Jenny Goes to Space. I love her. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Thank you for letting us share our stories with you.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't have any more bad stories to tell
Mhm.
down the line. But if we do, we have a space to share. Also, quick song recommendation. I want to start a song of the week, and I'll do the
The drum roll.
drum roll, please. Today's song of the week, "Wondering Why" by the Red Clay Trace.
It's a good song.
I love folk and indie type music. This is kind of along that genre. I don't know if you've heard it. It's been on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
it's a very comforting song.
it's a little
Very
trendy.
soothing.
It feels very romantic. Let me know what you think about that song.
The main
Comment.
singer looks like Elvis. He looks like an Elvis dupe. I was looking at the profile, like
Really?
that. Yeah, he looks giving Elvis
The
vibes.
music is just so calming, so soothing, and so nice. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any paranormal tales you'd like for us to share.
Any song recommendations you think we should listen to?
Oh yeah, we
That'd
should
also
do-
be fun.
That'd be fun. Imagine they recommend a song for us and then we review it on the next podcast.
Yeah, that's
That'd be
pretty
great.
cool.
But yeah, thank you for listening to us, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next episode. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. We also have a TikTok and Instagram. Everything not your average chalupa.
We are everywhere, guys.
Exactly.
Mm.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.